Welcome back to our podcast, watchers and listeners. This is What We Watch, and I am your host, Natalie Brinkerhoff, joined by my co-host.
I am Garrett Christofferson. I don't know
I
why
don't
we're
know why
saying it
it's
like
always,
this. Yeah.
it's always like so awkward going into it, and I always feel like I have to say my legal name,
I think
Natalie
we'd have it
Ray
figured out by
Brinkerhoff.
now, after
No,
almost a
it's
year of
just,
this.
once it gets flowing though. We
Yeah.
also have Jackson with us, our producer, who mostly just sits in so that he can get early access to the pod. So,
hmm
love you,
So,
Jackson. Thanks for joining.
What can I
yeah.
say? It's fire. Second most listened to pod on Spotify Rap.
Heck
Let's
yeah, we had a
go.
couple who's most,
Shout out to some of
and
my
it was
friends who sent it to me. You guys are the
really
real watchers.
yes. Let's go. My mom and my dad were both. It was their top podcast on
hmm
Spotify.
It's funny because your parents, your family seems very like actively listening to this. My family doesn't. I think Avery does, and then my parents don't, and I don't think anybody else does. But
Well,
my
shout
friends
out
are
to
represented.
Avery. She's
Yeah.
a real one. So are
hmm
Garrett's friends and my family. And everybody else, fake.
hmm But if
So,
you are not our immediate friend or family, which would be surprising, thank you as well.
yeah, to those hidden in the background,
We
we
see
love
you.
you. We love you and we appreciate you. And we hope you keep liking our podcast. Anyways, let's get into some good movies today. We decided to do two movies because, the more the merrier this Christmas season. And
Amen.
we watched the Santa Claus 1 and 2. So y'all better get excited for this episode. But before we get into that, Garrett, what have you been watching this week?
Good question. So this week I have, for our loyal listeners, you may have remembered that I did a Twilight one sitting marathon for a YouTube video I was making.
You
Um,
did.
that
I forgot about that.
has never come to pass because I'm in the editing process right now, and it sucks because I'm like trying to be very funny during the video, and it's just like, not that I don't, it's, I think it's when it comes out it'll be funny, but I've postponed that till February because it was going to be a Halloween thing, but then I was like, moments passed.
Twilight is year round.
I'll wait. It's going to release on Valentine's Day because it'll be funny because the whole premise of the video is me trying to learn based on the movies how to, since women love Edward and Jacob, trying to learn from what they do so I can implement that into my own dating life, which if you've watched those movies, you know is a very bad idea. But I'm going to
Correct.
put that out on February or on Valentine's Day because I think it'd be funny. But in the meantime, I am making it much smaller scale, much more like easier to edit video that should be out hopefully by the end of the year. I'm shooting for like the 29th or the 30th. But um,
He's a
I've
busy man.
watched, I'm watching all this requires some backstory, so I apologize. But the other day, as our loyal listeners do know, we reviewed the movie Man of Steel months ago in the summer before
Mm-hmm.
Superman. The other
That
day
did
I was
happen.
driving in my car and I lit the Man of Steel theme came on, and it genuinely like pissed me off because I was like, why do I kind of want to watch this movie again even
You
though
said
I
in the
hate this
podcast
movie.
that you know that
I
the music
know.
makes you want to watch it, but you never feel
And
fulfilled by the movie.
I hate that it does that, and I hate that I still constantly think about that era of DC movies. So the past like week and a half, I have decided that I'm just going to watch all of them, all 16 of those DCU
Oh, you
movies,
have been you have been putting
hmm
those on Letterbox.
and
I
then I'm
did
gonna just put
notice.
like a ranking, a lot more low key, not as edited as my last video, but still like somewhat like it's not just gonna be me sitting here talking. There'll still be something to it, but I'm going to make a ranking video of all the DCU movies because I just want to put this behind me. So hopefully after I get all my thoughts out and I can stop talking about these movies, I can finally move on.
And
But
next time you are driving and you hear that theme, just text me and I'll say, "Don't do it, Garrett.
don't do it. You're not gonna
Don't
like it.
do
You're just
it.
gonna get mad. You're just gonna rile
You're
yourself.
never gonna feel fulfilled."
No,
I'll say,
never.
"Don't do it, Garrett. Just go watch Superman, and you'll be fine."
So I have been rewatching all those
Turn on some
movies.
Smallville.
Ugh, please. Anyways, so I've been rewatching all those movies, and it is torturous.
I'm so
Um,
sorry. Well, you're
it's
doing
funny
that
because like I'm
by
doing it
your
to
own
myself.
accord.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm like, nobody's telling you to do that.
Like there's some that are good. Like I haven't watched all of them. There's some I haven't ever even seen still, which I need to watch, like The Flash and stuff like that. But I know those aren't very good.
Did we go
But
see The Flash? Did I see that movie in theaters?
We saw it in
Jackson?
theater. Yeah.
Gosh.
dang.
Wow.
But
I
hey,
can't
So
believe we
after
did that.
that, you're gonna get Supergirl, dude. Next
exactly,
year.
Supergirl's coming out soon. So that shout out Jason Momoa as Lobo. Anyways,
Well,
um,
lovely. I'm
yeah.
sorry that
So
you're doing that to yourself. Did you
yeah,
sprinkle any joy in there?
yes. So I did watch one of my favorite Christmas movies called The Holdovers with Paul Giamatti that came out a few years ago. Rewatched that with some of my friends. Shout out Brady. And it is just
I
I
wonder if
love that
Brady
movie.
listens to the pod these days. Brady, if you do, text
Shout
me.
out, yeah. But The Holdovers is one
Is
of
that
these
the
days
one
we
at
need
the
to do it.
school?
Yeah, one of these days
And
it'll
then
be on the
he like
podcast, but
is
it'll be
it
next year.
in Boston?
hmm
Okay, love.
I love that movie. But so I did sprinkle some joy in there and a few other like
Glad.
TV shows and things. But anyways, I've been talking for a while. Natalie, what have you watched?
I'm trying to decide what I want to talk about. I watched a terrible Netflix Christmas movie on a plane,
hmm
and it was called My Secret Santa, but like terrible in like a funny way.
Yeah.
Like it's like who thought of this and why did they think it was a good idea and like this is just so terrible. And I think it may have been filmed in Utah up at Sundance.
Really?
So, that was cool. And then I've been watching. Oh, do you know what I started? Is the new season of Percy Jackson,
Oh yeah,
which I've
I watched
been
the first two episodes
liking.
last night. hmm
Yeah, I watched the first two episodes, so that was good. I need to get caught up on Survivor. I don't know if I've mentioned that on the podcast,
I think you have a
um,
little bit.
but yeah, I need to get caught up on that, and then yeah, I watched Freakier Friday on the airplane. That was an interesting time. Um, let me check my letterbox and see if there was anything good. I really want to go see Eternity.
But yeah, I've
Have
had some
you heard
friends
of
tell me
that?
about it. Yeah.
I like so badly want to go see it,
hmm
but everybody's being flaky.
Well, I actually
So,
had one of my friends who listens to the podcast said that when we were doing While You Were Sleeping and we said Miles Teller as Bill Pullman's character, he was like, I don't see that at all. And then he went and saw Eternity and then texted me afterward and said, I get it. I
he
see
was
it.
like he was like he could do it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad that he trusted our casting choice. But
hmm
yeah, so just a bunch of random stuff and getting all the Christmas in there that I can cuz I feel like November and December are like my most like last year on Letterboxd it was like the most movies I watched are usually at the end of the year
Yeah.
and
Same.
that seems to be consistent this year. Like for some reason like the end of the summer I'm like watching nothing and then probably
hmm
cuz I'm outside.
Yeah.
But anyways, so yeah, just getting all
Here's
the movies
a
in.
here's an idea that I'll pitch to you for because we're gonna do one more episode before the end of the year, for just in between Christmas and New Year's. But for our last 2025 episode, I was thinking, what if we made New Year's resolutions for our movie watching the next year? Like what types of movies we want to watch or how we want to change
I love it.
how we watch things or something like
Yeah,
that.
a little New Year's movie goals. Don't
hmm
you get a letterboxed recap like end of year?
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. I think so.
So does it might come out in January though. I
I
can't
think it
remember.
might. It's towards the end of the year or the beginning of the next year. So
So
we
we'll
shall
see that.
see.
Yeah. No, that'll be fun. I love it.
Sweet. So come prepared. Also, you guys should all set your own movie watching goals because
Yeah.
theaters need our help because we won't get into that. But Netflix is trying to destroy the world.
True.
I'm gonna stop there so I don't rant for 30 minutes on that. But
Yes, if you're interested, go look it up. I
yeah,
honestly don't know that much about it, but I'm sure I'll get informed. Anyways, also just want to apologize that I do have a little bit of a cold, so if there's like coughing and sniffling, sorry. That's just how this
ASMR.
is gonna be. 'Tis the
hmm
season. Okay, let's talk about our films that we chose. I mean, the films that I chose. Which were The Santa Claus and The Santa Claus 2, starring Tim Allen as Santa Claus.
Boy.
And I'll just go into the brief descriptions of both. We'll kind of separate them at the beginning of like what we liked, which one we liked better, maybe, so on and so forth. And then we'll kind of just go into questions and stuff. So, the first one is when a man inadvertently makes Santa fall off his roof on Christmas Eve, he finds himself magically recruited to take his place. That's it.
I mean, it's not wrong.
And that's all, guys.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's like, you know, some family drama and stuff.
Yeah.
And good old Charlie, which he, especially in the first one, Charlie has my heart.
He is so adorable.
That is just that child. And also his fits go hard.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm always like, dude,
cut.
I'm like, okay. No, I love the bowl cut. It makes him just look even more like a child from the 90s. And
Yeah.
you're just looking at him and you're just like, oh, this little kid, how is he talking so well? Isn't he like 2? And you're just like, he just really pulls at the heartstrings.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, what do you have to say about the Santa Claus 1, Garrett? Just straight off the dome.
Yeah, so I, growing up, watched the Santa Claus 2 way more than I watched the first one. And I've always kind of liked the second one better than the first. But spoilers, because I was very surprised to see that I kind of like the first one more than the second one this time around.
Mm-hmm.
I think the first one's, which we'll get into the second one, and I still like that movie, but the first one is a lot more. The second one, they seem a little bit more comfortable. They're like, okay, we have our fans, we have the money, let's just kind of do whatever, kind of have fun with it.
A little bit more
Whereas
chaotic.
the first one has a little bit more, like, both very goofy movies, but the first one has more like something to prove almost in a way. So I think they take it just a little bit more seriously for as silly as the premise is. Because the family drama aspect of this movie, I think, works very, very well. Charlie and Scott, Santa, their relationship is, I think it's adorable because Tim Allen's a really good, like, cocky, arrogant businessman turned lovable Santa. Like, I mean, there's a reason why a lot of people of our generation just will always view Tim Allen as like 2 things, Buzz and Santa.
Buzz Lightyear and Santa.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so I think Tim Allen is very, very good in the role. Charlie's adorable. I think, what's the mom's name? No, Lucy's the girl.
No,
in the second
Lucy's
one.
the little girl in the second one.
The mom's name
It
is.
is. Hold, please.
Her name is
Do.
Laura. I knew
Laura
it was
and
an L.
Neil.
Yeah. I think the girl who plays Laura is like, she's like acting in a different movie, it feels. Like she like brings like very, like a lot of heavy emotion in some of these scenes, which is really funny because like the scene where she's talking about how she stopped believing in Santa when she was like, why she stopped believing in Santa. It's played as this like super dramatic scene and she's like going on this like emotional monologue. And I think it works and it's just funny.
It is
like,
dramatic.
Mm-hmm.
When you stop believing in Santa, that is a huge turning point for some of us.
Yeah.
As in me.
Yeah. It's just like it.
I mean, I still believe in Santa.
Like the scene especially when she like finally does realize like Scott is Santa is also really good, where you just like see her reaction of just like, oh my gosh, like it really is you.
It is you.
Like that's a very wholesome scene. So I think my thoughts are kind of all over the place right now, but I think this movie it's a lot more heartwarming than I remembered it being, and I really liked that. And I think it's low-key might be controversial. I think it's funnier than the second movie. I think there's a lot more laughs in the first movie, in my opinion, than the second movie. At least the humor's more kind of, there's a lot more adult humor.
Yeah.
Not necessarily like naughty humor, but adult jokes in the first one, which I think is funny. And Neil is just a hilarious character.
It's just
and
so funny.
Scott
The
making
whole
fun of
situation.
Neil every chance he gets is just will never not be hilarious. It's
Yeah.
so good.
Yeah, just
Anyways,
all
what
the
did you
digs.
think?
I honestly don't remember watching these movies like that often growing up. I think we kind of got into them a little bit later when we were teenagers. At least I did, when streaming became available, and then we could just watch whatever we wanted. And then it's like, oh, people watch the Santa Claus.
Yeah.
I remember seeing the Santa Claus 3 in theaters and hating it.
Yeah.
When I was a little kid. And so, like, I think because of that, I didn't really watch them that much.
Because
but
Bernard's
then,
not in the third one.
yeah, and I thought that I genuinely, to be fair, I genuinely remember like, almost 0% of the third one, except for that I know that it's, like, the Frost guy? Jack Frost, yeah.
Did you almost
Jack
call him
Frost.
Mr. Freeze?
Yeah. No, I almost called him Mr. Frost, and I was like, oh, that's not right. It's Jack Frost, and I remember being a little bit scared of Jack Frost because I was, like, way too little to be seeing whatever this movie was. Like, the whole premise felt a little bit scarier to me. Like, I walked out of the movie being like, I hated that. But that's kind of why I didn't watch them growing up. And then when I got old enough to be like, oh, I want to watch those movies, and they were easily available to me, that's when I started watching them. And I love the Santa Claus, like the first one. And I always think, and I remember watching like the Santa Claus 2 with you guys a lot, because like you said, you watched that a little bit more growing up.
In July. Like, we watched the movie all the time.
Yeah. And so I think I remember that one from you guys. And then, but I think like the Santa Claus just has kind of like more of like the nostalgic feel to it. For me, even though I watched it later in life. But it just feels more like wholesome, heartfelt. I do think that the humor is less forced, because I do think that the second one is really, really funny. But it's a little bit more like easily like, here's what's funny, instead of like you were saying, more of like the sly, subtle jokes that you kind of have to be like a little bit older to understand or appreciate. So that's why I like the first one so much. And I still love the second one. And I think that they go well together. But yeah, I love this one. I think that the whole family drama aspect of it too, it's always like, it really just gets you, because you're just like, stupid jaded adults, like, it's Santa Claus.
Just believe it's
It's
Santa.
literally Santa Claus, like, stupid Neil, like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Anyways, and then they're like taking away his visitation rights, and like it feels really heavy, and it's like Charlie, and then he steals Charlie. It's dramatic. It's heavy.
There
but
some
it's like
questionable decisions on both parties.
Extremely questionable decisions. You know, Santa Claus goes to jail. So anyways, it's fun. I also like, what are the elves called?
There's Bernard, who's like the head guy, Bernard has a huge fan base.
What's the like ELFS, yeah. I think those guys are so funny. Like, that reminds me of Prep and Landing. Anyways, so yeah, I love both of them, but I think I like the first one a little bit better. But we'll go into the second one now. I'll just read like the description. Scott Calvin has been a humble Santa Claus for 8 years, but it might come to an end if he doesn't find a Mrs. Claus. So, a lot more goes down in that one as well.
Yeah.
I love these, just like, I mean, it's true.
I mean, like, it's not wrong, but there's a way more that goes on behind the scenes in that. Yeah.
Because there is a large army of toy soldiers that also happens in this movie. And I think what I like about the second movie, before you share your thoughts, Garrett, is that I feel like the stuff with like Charlie, the family aspect, and the whole like love story, like, those are my favorite parts of this movie. And then I feel like all the stuff going on at the North Pole is just like chaos, like, for kids to enjoy and keep them entertained, because I'm like, I genuinely don't care about that. So anytime that stuff comes on, I'm like, meh. Except for, I do like Curtis. I think Curtis is funny.
Curtis is very funny.
And Bernard, of course, is the GOAT.
Yeah. Is that it? Is that all your thoughts on the second one?
Yeah, unless I think of anything else when you talk. And passing it to you, Garrett.
Yeah, Disney's passed the plate. Anyways, I think I did not love the second one watching it this time around.
Oh, I'm
Even though
so
I've watched
sad
this
for
movie so
you.
many times. Like, it's not that I hate it, and I'm still going to watch this movie a lot in my life, probably. But honestly, Curtis and Mrs. Claus really saved this movie for me.
It's true.
Um, like you said, I think all the stuff with the North Pole is kind of stupid. I don't like the Toy Santa plot, which is funny because you said it was for kids, and that was like my favorite part as a kid. So
Hmm.
it obviously makes sense. But I think you can just cut all of that out and focus a lot more on like Carol and Scott and Charlie and all of them. I think that's the strongest part of the movie, just like you were saying. But Curtis and Bernard are very funny, specifically Curtis.
Yeah,
Um,
like they need their moment to shine. I just wish that
exactly.
it wasn't
The
the way
Toy
that it was. And
Santa.
maybe it's also just that it hasn't aged that well. Like I
Yeah.
don't know. It's just not like just doesn't hit or maybe we're just older. We
Yeah.
appreciate the boring love storyline now more than the fun attacking,
The giant toy
whatever
soldier.
giant
Yeah.
toy soldiers storyline. Yeah.
But yeah, I think there's a lot more like cringy parts in the second one too. Like
For sure, where you're
his
like,
first date. Like the
okay, but
first date's
that part
supposed to
is
be
actually kind
cringy.
of funny.
Like
It
it's
is
that
funny.
that's like intentionally cringy, obviously. But even as a kid, I like hate watching that scene. Like it physically makes me cringe,
I
which is the
like when he's
purpose.
no, I like when he's sitting there and like she's singing her song and he's like ho ho
Oh, yeah,
ho ho,
yeah.
and it's like perfectly in sync. Like it's so funny.
And then when she's like, "You hated it," and he's like, "It kind of freaked me out."
It's
Yeah,
kind of
and then
scared me a little. And
yeah,
then she's pissed.
it's like that took me a lot of. What did she say? I can't remember,
She's
but
like, yeah, it's like that took a lot of effort for me.
yeah, that took a lot of courage. And if you don't respect that, then like we're like this date is finished or something, which is funny. But I think all the stuff with the best scene of the second one is the Christmas party with all the
Yes, with
staff from
all
the
the
high school.
toys.
That scene is so
Yes.
good.
It's the
That
best
like
when he starts using that whole sequence of
exactly.
like the whole first like date situation with all
Hmm.
of him using all of his magic with the like sleigh ride and then the gifts
Yeah.
and everything. Yeah, it's so good.
I also love how because I always get pissed off like Scott, stop using so much magic. Like
I
you're
know you're
losing.
like no.
But I kind of loved it this time around because I kind of read it as like he just can't help himself. Like he's just Santa. Like he
He
has to
just
use his magic.
it's just his nature. He just has
Exactly.
to. I know even with like the little girl, I can't remember her
Hmm.
name, but like he's like, "Dang it, like you cost me some magic." But like he
Yeah.
doesn't even care cuz he's like that's just
That's just
he
who
had
he
to do
is.
it. Yeah.
I do wish they gave Charlie a little bit more to do in the second one because his whole, like his scene when he's talking to Scott and he says that, every kid gets to say that their dad does this and he's the
Yeah.
best and stuff, but my dad is the best thing of all and I can't tell anyone. Like
Yeah.
that's such a good scene and I wish they gave
Uh-huh.
us more Charlie because he's the emotional heart of the first movie. And he kind of
Yeah.
like seems like they're trying to make him the second one, but it's more Carol in my opinion in this movie.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I still think all this. I love all the stuff with. I just think it's cool the whole like council of legendary creatures or whatever with the Easter Bunny and
Yeah.
the Tooth Fairy. I think that's funny.
Which
Uh,
also isn't Father Time. He's in the first movie.
yeah, he's his boss in the first movie, which is funny.
Did you find anything out about that or was it just like
It's just like no,
just for fun? Nobody
yeah,
really
it's not
notices.
supposed to be like oh, it's the same character. It's just no, they just wanted to use the same guy because they liked him.
Love it.
Yeah, but yes. So overall, I think the first one's better than the second one, but the second one is still very fun and
And there's like really good things in the second one.
yeah,
Like
there's a lot
like
of
we were
really good
talking about
parts.
all of our favorite parts.
Mhm.
And I do agree with the Charlie aspect of it. I think if we got rid of the whole like North Pole or even just shorten that to like be
Mhm.
like we don't need to see a ton of that to understand what's going on. Like if we cut a bunch of it and then added some more Charlie stuff, I think it would be really good cuz
Yeah.
anytime Charlie's in it, I feel like you're just pulled in cuz of I mean, that kid's a good actor. I love it.
Mhm.
And I do think that his whole monologue part where he's like I can't tell anyone,
Yeah.
that whole scene is so like sweet and you're just like Charlie.
And Scott and
But
Carol have really good chemistry because you're
yeah, they
supposed
do.
to buy into the fact that they get married after knowing each other for like I think
I
2
know, which
weeks
is
or something.
wild.
Yeah.
That's crazy even for Provo, y'all.
Yeah. Watch me, but I think I have a solution for how they could have fixed this movie. You ready for this?
Tell me.
I think you cut out all the Toy Santa stuff, but you keep instead of having the Toy Santa whole thing of you have to you trick the elves into thinking that there really is a Santa there. Just cut that whole plot line out. Like Bernard says, like if the elves figured out that you weren't here, oh my gosh, everything would go crazy. But like why? They never explain why why it would go crazy.
Yeah, why would
So I
anybody
think
actually care?
exactly. I think what you do is you cut out the Toy Santa stuff and you just have it be like Bernard and Curtis are trying to like hold down
Run
the
the
fort.
show. Yeah, and be
Exactly.
like,
And you
Santa's
have
not feeling good or whatever.
exactly. And you have like that leads to a lot of funny like Bernard Curtis scenes of like them like kind of no we should do it this way, no we should do it this way. Like so you still retain that aspect.
Yeah.
And instead of the whole evil Santa plot, you just do like a race against time of if Scott doesn't get married, like still basically what they do in this movie, except you
Have
just
the
make
time be more of the
stakes
focus instead of like
exactly.
the fighting at the end. Yeah.
Exactly.
I love
So
it.
the stakes are just a little bit more back down to like the emotional family aspect of it rather than we got to go save Christmas from evil plastic Santa.
Yeah.
But
Love it. I
also,
agree.
I have a nitpick about the second one. And it's that
Plus.
the elves in the first one, they're played by children, but they're all played to be because they're like thousands of years old, hundreds of years old. So all these children play them like they're 100 years old elves, like beings. They've been alive for so long, they're older than everybody. But then in the second one, besides Bernard and Curtis, everybody plays it like they're just a child. And it makes me so mad because it's like, no, you're supposed to be thousands of years old. Stop acting like a little kid. Like there's some like
Yeah.
the cute little cookie girl. That's fine. You could have kept that. But the
Yeah.
Judy replacement, no, Judy is like the goat of the first movie. I love Judy in the first movie. And
Yeah,
then
but
her
you can't
replacement
have
is
her be in
too-
it again because
I know.
she gets too old.
But you just make her replacement like act not the same, but like not as like childish as because like I love that
Yeah.
Bernard in the first movie is very like I'm thousands of years old. I can't take your crap. Like you're Santa. Deal with it. Like I love that,
Yeah.
and I wish they kept that with the elves in the second one. But
Yeah. No, for sure. And also, if they're thousands of years old, like they're gonna figure out the whole stupid Santa thing. Yeah. No, I agree. Well, cool. I love it. Do you have any other thoughts? So I think we agree. The first one's better.
first one's better. Yeah.
There's some really good moments of the second one, but it with some tweaks, it could have been just as good, maybe better than this first one.
I agree.
But
was
yeah,
I gonna
any other
say?
thoughts?
I don't think so. I think we just get into questions and facts, and I think my thoughts will come as we go.
Okay, my first fact that really has nothing to do with this movie, but that I found out I think on TikTok. Did you know that Tim Allen went to prison?
Mm-hmm. He had like
You did?
He had like 4,000 pounds of coke on him or
Cocaine.
something. Yeah.
Guys, what? How did I never know this?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like, that's Buzz Lightyear, that's Santa Claus. Like, what?
Yeah.
This was shocking to me.
So I read when I was doing my trivia stuff, something that I learned because I had heard that he'd been arrested in the past, and I think I had read all of this before. I just forgot. But
Yeah.
when he was younger, he got arrested when he was like late 20s, mid 20s, or whatever. He got arrested because he had like 4,000 pounds of coke in his house or something like that. He was a drug dealer, and Disney had a strict like they
Like,
don't
didn't
hire
hire convicts, yeah.
ex-cons. And then they broke their rule for the first time or amended their rule for the first time for this movie, and then they've just never really, to my knowledge, never really cared about it since this movie. But Tim
Yeah.
Allen was the first one to break the ex-con rule.
Crazy. Yeah, that's how I learned about it too, is that I was like, I like saw his mugshot and I was like, is that AI? Like, I was like, what? And then I looked into it and I was like, no, he legit went to prison. This happened.
Yeah.
So, if you didn't know, now you know. He's a drug dealer. But don't worry, he's sober.
Yeah,
And that was in
he's
the
okay now.
70s. He was in prison for a couple years. He took a plea. He outed out some other drug dealers so they could catch more. And he changed his ways ever since.
And
So
when you think about it,
you can change.
who wasn't a drug dealer or arrested in the 70s? Come on, get real.
I mean, okay, fair enough. Okay, so tell me kind of like what you think about characters and other than like Santa, like who do you feel like is your favorite character from each movie?
I think in my
I
first,
mean, you kind of touched on it, but or maybe underrated characters or something like that.
yeah, I think in the first movie it's probably Charlie or Bernard because Charlie's adorable. Bernard's just the goat. I think Bernard as like the second in command is. I just love the actor David Krumholtz. I think he's a great actor, and he was in a lot of stuff in the late '90s, early 2000s, then fell off, and now he's coming back. He was in Oppenheimer. He's going to be in Supergirl. Like I just love him. I think he's really cool. So I'm definitely biased in that way. And then the second one, it's Curtis. I love Curtis. I think Curtis is so funny. And that kid, he was in everything for a while.
He
and
was
I don't
in
know
everything.
where he went.
Yeah. Disappeared. Well, I love it. Yeah, I would say like Charlie, obviously in the first one, but I love to hate him. Just Neil in general.
Oh, Neil.
I
Is
just
so
think
funny.
he's so good, and he's just like perfectly hateable and like the most like you know that guy in your life.
Yeah.
You know, like you know that person. Like he's just the most classic, annoying, just easy to pick on person. Just know it all. I love it. I do think that in the second one, I'd probably say Carol. I really like her.
I forgot.
In the second one. And I also do like Lucy. I think she's a cute little addition. Just like her being like, Scott, are you Santa? Like the whole time. Like I think it's cute. But yeah, what do you think? Okay, one thing that I think is interesting in moving on from that, in like Christmas movies in general, and especially thinking about being like a kid watching Christmas movies, like the North Pole is always like depicted different in each movie. Like you watch these movies and like the North Pole is different. Like Elf is way different from the Santa Claus, is way different from Polar Express, etc., etc.
Yeah.
Like, first question is, do we like this depiction of the North Pole in general? Like, what are your thoughts on that? Second question is how as a child are we just so blinded by this Christmas magic that we just don't pick up? You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, how are we just like, yeah, like, do we notice that there's a difference? Yeah, we accept that no, maybe it's just the fact that nobody knows what the North Pole actually is because nobody's been there except Santa and the elves, and so it's just what people think of. But anyways, tell me your thoughts, Garrett.
I think it's a toss-up between... My favorite North Pole is a toss-up between like Elf and Santa Claus because Elf's supposed to like take place in the same world, universe, whatever you want to call it, as like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. That's why there's all those claymation little puppets and there's snowman, and the sets are supposed to be exactly the North Pole from those movies. So I think it has that like charm and quirkiness to it. But if I'm thinking about like a North Pole that I would want to live in, I think the North Pole in these movies is a lot cooler. Like how it's under the ice dome is so sick, and the village just seems like fun. And I love the little like courtyard that they have. I think that's really cool.
Them playing
my
some
least
football.
My least favorite North Pole from the ones you mentioned is Polar Express. The North Pole just freaks me out in Polar Express. The elves, Santa.
Does anything not freak you out in Polar Express?
I don't know.
Do you like that movie?
I need to rewatch it. I think I like it, yeah, but there's something about Polar Express that just freaks me out a little bit. I don't know exactly. Like it's not just the animation. There's something.
I do think that that's
spook.
not an uncommon experience. Like people either love it or hate it, or freaked out by it or not. I've always loved it, and I've always like appreciated it, and I always thought that the North Pole in Polar Express was cool.
Yeah,
like I always thought
very
it
classic.
very
like,
classic, yeah.
Christmas
and like the
Carol-y
elves,
almost.
the elves never like freaked me out. I don't think. I think that like that one elf and like their voice like kind of was like, yeah, like was like, ew, that's kind of weird.
Yeah.
But one thing that I always remember from the North Pole in Polar Express is when they're like trying to find the gifts and stuff, and they're kind of like in the alleyways and like underground and like the hole and the like train situation or like the little like tram. I don't know what you would call it. Where they like hop in and it's basically like a rocket. Everything that like I think it's like just cool. Like it's just like everything. I do like this one. I don't know that I necessarily have a favorite. I just think it's interesting that as a kid you get all these different depictions and you just don't question it.
You're just like, yes, they're all the North Pole.
That's the North Pole.
Yeah. I
But
think you want to know a hot take, speaking of Polar Express?
go ahead.
I love Josh Groban. I love Josh Groban.
Oh,
Not a fan of Believe.
What? Oh, I was like, is that the hot take?
I had to
That
clarify.
is-
I love Josh Groban. I don't like Believe. I don't know why.
Why? Maybe it's because you don't like the North Pole. I mean, the North Pole. Maybe that's because
Potentially.
you don't like the Polar Express.
It just it tries too hard, in my opinion. I don't know. I think it's just too much.
No,
I
I
don't know.
love it. Brings me right back into the nostalgia feels.
Yeah.
It doesn't take you right back to, your elementary school class where you get to have pajama day and you go on the North Pole. I mean, why do I keep saying the North Pole? You go on the Polar Express and you are like, you set up the chairs and like rows and they bring you hot chocolate and you watch the movie.
I mean, I loved that. Don't get me wrong. I think I just need to rewatch Polar Express this season. I think it's just been too long. I haven't watched it in like 5 years.
And maybe you watch it and you still have these feelings. But anyways, I will say, I think it's interesting that you like the elves depiction of the North Pole because I think it's the most boring.
Yeah. And I think
Like,
that's why I
it's just
kind of
like-
like it because it's so.
I'm trying to think of more options. I know that there's more
Yeah.
out there.
But I feel like these are the top 3 like most famous ones.
Yeah.
The elf one is just like I said. It just is because it's just charming because it's trying to be the claymation era North Pole.
Yeah, you like what the inspiration behind it was.
Exactly. I think it's
That's
just
fair.
cool.
I love it.
Bringing it
Well,
back to Santa Claus. You know what I think is very funny about these movies? How these children's movies, the premise is based on like legal things, like a very niche legal term. Like that for those who
clause.
aren't aware, it's the Santa Claus, like the clause at the end of a contract. And I think that's so funny that it's all built around a legal term. But the thing that I was thinking about this time I watched it is, so if you put on the jacket, is it like either you become Santa or you die? Like
no,
you
I
have
know.
to become
This is like
Santa?
one of the plot holes that is always just like so confusing to me. I think the way I've rationalized it in my head is that it's like clearly Scott Calvin, SC, was predestined to be Santa Claus. Right? Like it's like, okay, like he was made to be Santa Claus. This was always going to happen to him. Santa Claus was always going to fall off of his roof and he was always going to, da 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 da. But I have thought about this and it always is like, what the frick? Because like, first of all, did he just kill Santa by accident?
Yeah.
Like,
Is Santa
there's that.
dead? Like what happened?
So
Why do
there's
none of the elves
that.
care about it?
Also, like,
Yeah.
when do you expire as Santa? Like, when is he gonna go next?
Yeah.
So there's that question. And then it's like, okay, yeah, what happens if you don't agree? Like, what if he was just like, I reject this entirely? Then
do they
what?
just kill him? Like, does ELFS
Yeah,
kill him?
it's like, well, you can't know our secret, so see ya,
Yeah.
Scott Calvin. But, like, it all makes sense, right? Because it's like, it's Scott Calvin, he works in toys, like, there's all the things. But yeah, there's, like, some plot holes with the claws,
Claus. And I think
The clause
like,
is.
what happened to that version of Santa's Mrs. Claus? Like, did she just die
Yeah.
with him? Like,
And,
where'd
like,
she go?
does this just happen enough times that the elves are just like, yeah, this is just how it goes? Because
This
they're all,
is how
like,
it
whispering
goes.
when he gets here, like,
Yeah.
that's the new Santa. And it's like, oh, so this has clearly happened several times in your lifetime. Because they're
I
all
think
thousands
they-
of years old, but
In the TV show, which I haven't watched on Disney Plus,
I
I
haven't
know they
watched it
go
either.
into like some of these questions. I think they
So
talk
maybe I
about
do
what
need to
happened to the
watch it.
first Santa, like if he actually died or not. I vaguely remember seeing something about that, but from
Like, they just
these
retire?
2 movies, yeah, like from just based on these 2 movies, it seems like Santa just dies and his Mrs. Claus just vanishes.
yeah.
So there's.
I
some
wonder if they, like, choose to
weird-
retire or something, and
Yeah.
then they, like, have to do the whole setup for, like, whoever is chosen.
Yeah. Because
That's
that
kind of what
Santa
makes the
jumped
most sense to me.
very, like, that Santa was very jumpy. When Scott yells at him, he immediately just, like, falls off the
He
roof.
immediately like, see
Yeah.
ya. Yeah.
Like, that had to have been a setup. You can't
No,
tell
for
me
sure.
otherwise.
What do you feel like? Okay, some of the funnier things in these movies too is the body transitions
Mm-hmm.
for in both. Like the first one, I think the first one's more realistic because it happens over a long period of time, right? And it's
Yeah.
like happening to him and whatever. And people are like, "Whoa, like, hey, you're kind of letting yourself go, my guy. Like, are
Mm-hmm.
you good?" But the body transition in the like month
And they
in the
just all
second one,
accept it.
where
Like,
he just
Carol's
all of
just
a
like,
sudden
huh.
like nobody, yeah, Carol's just
Yeah.
like, "Are you okay?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm fine." Like that would be alarming.
Mm-hmm. That'd be
Like,
terrifying. Like, that'd be
and
scary.
how does nobody like really? I mean, Carol's the only one that mentions it to him. I guess everybody else in his
Mm-hmm.
life kind of knows
Mm-hmm.
what's going on. But like, what would your reaction be to like somebody in our family, like say your one of your uncles, Uncle Ryan, for example, just all
Mm-hmm.
of a sudden starts gaining tons of weight and starts looking like Santa Claus over the course of a year? Like, I would be concerned.
Yeah. I'd be very concerned. But I love the scene where he goes to the doctor, where the doctor's like,
It's like listening to
he's
the
like,
heartbeat,
yeah, when his heartbeat's doing jingle bells or whatever. Um,
and he only eats milk and cookies.
It's
Yeah.
just a fact that I read about the body transformation stuff is during the first movie, the fat suit that Tim Allen had to wear was like terrible. It made his skin like super rashy and chafy.
Ooh.
And by the time they did the second one, it was like they were able to figure out the fat suit, so it wasn't like that. But they filmed the movie, a majority of the movie, in like the summer apparently. So he was like scorching hot. He could only work in the fat suit for like 6 hours, and by the
That's
end of
miserable.
the 6 hours, he would and took like 2 hours to get out of it, a couple hours to put it on. But when by the end of the day, when he was like kind of losing it, he'd start like using a lot of profanity around the kids, and so it was like a big deal of like, Tim, you gotta stop. Um, but yeah, it's a common occurrence with Christmas movies is the actors have to be put in like skin tight suits that they just hate doing, like Jim
Yeah,
Carrey and
like
How
the
the Grinch Stole
Grinch.
Christmas. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where he had to do CIA training, like CIA torture
The
training. So
things
he
that
would,
they do for
yeah.
these Christmas movies, it's like the most jolly,
Hmm.
upbeat, fun movies, and then the other side of it is like, I hate my life.
Hmm. It's funny
Yeah.
because I'd say like, oh, they're doing it for Christmas magic, Christmas
Ayo.
magic, but no, they're doing it because they're getting millions of dollars. So yes, I would
Yeah.
wear a fat suit for that much money.
Hey, there you go.
Hmm.
Um, I was gonna ask you something and then I lost my train of thought. Oh, like what do you feel like is the most like you think of these movies, like what do you remember most from your childhood? Like what scenes are like burned
Hmm.
into your brain that you're like that is the Santa Claus to me.
The scenes of
Like the most mind-blowing stuff.
yeah, the the whole ending of the second one is just fried
You
into my
would.
brain. Specifically when like the littlest elves are like just running around the pole like kicking the toys and they're like giggling and laughing. I don't know why that scene is like fried in my brain. Um, all the stuff with the legendary characters I think about all the time, or not think about all
Yes.
the time, but like
That one I remember that
very
stuff
crucial.
very
Yeah,
clearly from being a child and being like, "Oh, that's what that is." Like
yeah.
it like all started to make sense to me. Yeah.
Hmm.
That's
I
so
thought
true.
Father Time was a much bigger deal because of this movie.
Yeah.
Um,
And yeah, like a lot of them it's like, "Oh." And just that the Tooth Fairy was a man,
was a
a large
man.
man.
Hmm.
Yeah. That's so funny. Any others?
I think there isn't really any scenes from the first one that like jump out to me as like, oh, that is from just childhood as like, oh, that's like iconic part of my childhood years because I didn't watch the first one very often. Um, Maybe just the scene where Santa dies and he puts on the coat and like the first 20 minutes when he's doing the delivering the presents, like that's pretty
Mhm.
iconic. I think that's
Yeah,
probably the
just
best
cuz
part
it's
of the
like
movie.
yeah, cuz they're like
Hmm.
he's trying to figure it out and like going to each and like I remember thinking the part where he is with the little girl, like
I
that
love those
is that
scenes.
yeah,
Hmm.
when he goes in and he's like, I'm lactose intolerant, and is like
Hmm.
all, grumpy and whatever. And then the next year he comes back and he's like, ooh, it's sour milk, and she's like, I got you like whatever
Yeah.
milk
I got you
he
soy milk.
requested.
Yeah.
Soy milk, yeah. So cute.
I'm glad you brought that up because I just forgot to bring those scenes up. Those are like two of my favorite scenes of the movie. Like, I love how just like mean he is in the first scene. It's like, you want this doll or not? Go back to
Yeah.
sleep. And then he just chucks it at the tree. I think that scene's so funny. And then
And
when he
she's
comes
like,
back,
oh.
exactly. When he comes back, it's so wholesome. And
Yeah.
he's just so nice to her, and it's just like you just get to see how much he's changed into being Santa.
Yeah.
I think
How
both
much
those
he's
scenes are
embraced
so
it.
good. Uh-huh.
Yeah. I also remember, I think from the first one, um, the elves again, like their whole like mission thing. I always think that that's
Hmm.
cool when the elves have like gadgets or their specialty elves. I remember when he like goes to the for some reason that part when he's like, "Okay, like let's go home," and then they take him to the North Pole for the first time, and he's like, "This isn't home, whatever." And then
Yeah.
it's that like one song playing, and that one
That's
elf just
such a strange
appears.
scene. Yeah.
Like that to me, I like always remember. And then he like meets Bernard and gets to have the hot chocolate for the first time,
Hmm.
shaken, not stirred, all that stuff. Just like those iconic little moments. But
Hmm.
what do you feel like, lines wise, like what stand out to you from these movies? I know your family quotes a lot from the second one.
Yeah. The desantification process has begun is a big one. I love the scene. One of my favorite quotes is when Bernard's like getting mad at Curtis because he omitted and like forgot about the Mrs. Claus clause. And
Yeah.
Bernard or Curtis just looks at him and he's like, wow, one mistake in 500 years. I think that scene is very funny.
Yeah. The
The
honestly the like timing of the humor from the kids is always just
is
like
so good.
so good to me because I just love when kids can like do that stuff.
Hmm.
It's just more funny to me when a kid delivers on to comedic timing.
Yeah.
Um, but anyways,
I think in the first movie, the when they go to Denny's and when he says or when Charlie asks for
the
chocolate
milk,
milk, yeah, and she goes, "Oh, we're out," and he goes, "Regular milk's
regular milk's
fine."
fine.
That scene, I think those lines are really funny.
Yeah,
Um, Anytime Scott makes fun of Neil, there's a specific part where he's at like he puts on one of Neil's sweaters for his date. He's like,
yeah,
"So how
and
does this
he's
make me
like,
look?" And Neil thinks like, "I think you look hot," and then Laura's like, just makes fun of him or something.
huh,
Um, there's one other one I was thinking of. What was it? The Molinator. That's a big one. I thought the Tooth Fairy being called the Molinator was
the
hilarious as a
Molinator.
kid.
Yes,
And I love my last one I'll say is when what's her name? Not Judy, but the girl in the second one, the hot chocolate girl in the second one, when she brings the list to Santa to show him that Charlie's on the naughty list. When she goes, "It's Charlie," and he goes, "Sheen? I thought he was cleaning up his act." Like as an adult, that Charlie Sheen joke is very funny.
yeah,
Um, really, just any line out of Tim Allen in these movies is very,
yeah,
very good.
yeah. And there's so many you could do. I also think it's funny in the first one, thinking of, um, Judy again, is when he's like, "You look great
Oh
for your
yeah,
age," and she's like, "Thanks, but I'm seeing someone in rapping."
that's such a good line. I love that
It's
line.
so funny.
Hmm.
Um, I'm trying to think of others from like the first movie that we missed. Um, there's so many good ones. I also just like the whole. I mean, on a more serious note, like the whole like, um, is it seeing isn't believing, believing is
Believing
seeing,
is
like that
seeing.
whole
Hmm.
thing. Yeah, just like hits hard
Solid.
sometimes.
It's a good theme.
Good theme, y'all. All
Hmm.
right. Any other things you want to go over, Garrett?
Let's pull up the critics' thoughts on this and talk about did the critics get it right?
Did the
So,
critics get it right?
for the first Santa Claus movie, on Rotten Tomatoes, critics gave it a 73%, which is higher than I would have thought.
Totally.
And audience gave it a 66%, which is very
That's
interesting.
surprising to me. Yeah.
Yeah, I think these days, audience score would probably be much higher because it's become iconic, and all the kids who grew up with this movie are now
Yeah, now
adults and have
adults.
their own kids and stuff like that. So I think audience scores probably up higher these days.
Yeah, I didn't realize that people didn't like it as much, but
Yeah. I mean, they liked it enough where they made a second one, but the people who cared enough to write something on Rotten Tomatoes didn't seem to like it. Um, IMDb 6.6 out of 10, which I'd say is probably around the range I'd put this. What do you think?
yeah. And then Letterboxd got 3.2 out of 5.
Mm-hmm.
I
Which I
feel like
think
it's
pretty
pretty.
good. Yeah.
I think it's pretty solid. Like, I'm not sure that the I think it's surprising to me that the critics are a little bit higher than the audience. But I
Yeah,
think
for
it puts
sure.
it at a decent spot. Like, I don't think that this is the best Christmas movie of all time,
No,
you know? But I do think it's up there. It's worth a rewatch every year
definitely.
for me. At least the first one.
Yeah, for sure. I think I don't it probably is in the top 10 for me of like Christmas
Yeah,
movies.
I would agree.
Not top 5, but top 10, I think.
Yeah, for
Um,
sure.
all right, and then Santa Claus 2, Rotten Tomatoes, the critics gave it a 56%, audience of 43, which makes sense. I don't know if there's any, I wouldn't change that. I think that's pretty apt for this movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then IMDb is 5.8 out of 10. And Letterboxd is a little surprising to me that it's only a 2.8
Yeah.
out of 5. I would think it might be like a 3.
Hmm. I used to think most people liked the second one more than the first one, and I've learned
That was
that's not
just
the
your
case.
own
Yeah, it was just my family.
eyes
Yeah,
being blinded.
exactly.
Garrett's biased, but he's seen the light.
Hmm. Exactly. This rewatch, I finally come to terms with the fact that Santa Claus 2 is fun, but the first one is definitely the more iconic
I
one
don't
for a
know why
reason.
this is making me think of this, but we need to, once we're done with like holiday season, we do need to give um Night of the Museum 1 and
Mm,
2 a moment.
yes, we do.
Because I feel like in some way that this is comparable.
For sure. But
You
I
know what I
think
mean? With like it having more than two movies, but it's like the first two are just the solid ones, and then like
exactly.
and the
No one
second one
talks
is
about the
like
other
so
ones.
iconic to our family, like it's
Hmm.
so just nostalgic. But like I think most people think the first one's better, and so
Yeah,
like we need to do that one.
for sure. I think I went into these movies, like at this, I've known that people like Santa Claus 1 more than 2 for a long time now.
Hmm.
And I went in thinking like, yeah, it'll probably be the case. But with Night at the Museum, I don't think, granted, I haven't seen either in a long time, but I think the second one is known as the better one from what I have seen
Really?
online.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I honestly haven't looked much into it, but
Like
anyways.
I see people post clips of the second one a lot, and I don't think I've
Hmm.
ever seen anybody post a clip from the first one.
Yeah, we'll
So,
have to watch it. Maybe we can have Jackson and Annie join us on that one.
ooh, that'd be a good one.
Anyways,
Um,
sorry, back to this film.
yeah, we get Keaton sidetracked because this is just a good like springboard Christmas movie because there's so
It
many like
is.
things to talk about.
You're
But
right.
last thing I wanted to say is just kind of a crazy fact about this movie is the script for the first Santa Claus was written with an actor in mind for the role
Yeah.
of Scott Calvin. And I want you to guess who it is because when I say who it is, you're going to think about it and be like, oh, yeah, of course. Of course, this was written for him. But I didn't think about it until I read it and was like, oh, yeah, obviously this was going to be his movie. But then he turned it down. So
Is
think
it
of
in the same
comedians from the
realm?
90s
I don't.
within the
I'm
same
not good
realm.
at this game.
Just name a few.
I don't even know a few comedians from the '90s. Can you give me a multiple choice?
Okay, yeah, I'll give you multiple choice.
Okay.
So Adam Sandler, Jim Carrey, um, Bill Murray, and yeah, I'll just give you those three because you could tell that the fourth one wasn't going to actually be it because I had to think about it for a second. So Adam Sandler, Bill Murray, or Jim Carrey. Which one do you think this script was written
Probably
for?
Bill Murray.
Yep. Which like
Ah.
that was so as I read that, it was just such a like, oh yeah, of course. Like It's a very different movie with Bill Murray, I think.
Totally. Yeah.
And it's very interesting. I don't think Bill Murray is as endearing as Tim Allen is.
Yeah, no, I don't think that it would come off the same.
Mm-hmm.
So glad they went with the convict, ex-con for the
Yeah.
for the first time for this one.
Redemption is real, everybody.
I wonder if it would have done better with Bill Murray, like audience and critics wise. Do you think it could?
Potentially. I think it might have been a bigger financial hit because Bill Murray. I mean, Tim Allen was a big guy at this point because he had a TV show on. I can't remember what it's called, but he had one
He
of
was
the
a
facts I
comedian,
read.
yeah.
He was a comedian. There's a one point during when this movie was out where he was both the number one actor in movies and TV at the same time.
Cool.
Yeah, so I'll read it. It says, for 1 week in November 1994, Tim Allen had the number one movie at the box office and the number one television show, Home Improvement, and the
Wow.
number one best-selling book. So
Dang.
he was like,
Wow. Okay.
he was doing
Triple
pretty
threat.
good. Yeah. So he was big back in the day. He's not as big now because I think he's just made his money and he's good. But who knows? Maybe
Except
Bill
for
Murray
all the
was
Toy Stories that they continue to make for no reason.
Yeah. For no reason at all. Anyways, so what's your last ratings for both the first movie and the second movie?
Okay, first movie, I'm gonna give it a medium to large bucket.
Nice.
Like in the world of Christmas movies, because I don't think you can rate a Christmas movie the same as just a normal film. You know
For
what
the
I
most
mean?
part, yeah, I agree.
For the most part, right? Maybe a few exceptions. But in the realm of Christmas movies, I'm going medium to large. And then I'll say extra butter because I love the first one.
Mm-hmm.
And then the second one I'll probably do medium bucket,
Yeah.
small medium. Like, because I don't hate it. Like, I like that movie. I rewatch it nearly every Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
And I will do just regular butter.
Nice. I am gonna do pretty much the exact same thing. I think medium large for the first one with extra butter, exact same reasons you said, and then I was gonna do medium, and then I didn't know schmedium was a answer, so I'll do
I think you
schmedium.
came up with schmedium a while
Really?
ago.
Oh,
Yeah.
maybe I did. But schmedium with butter. I don't think I'm going extra butter. I think my love for this movie has been tainted a little bit. Not that it's
Aw.
a terrible movie, but just rewatching it this year, I was like, and I
Even
thought
the
same
nostalgia
last
didn't
year.
hit for you?
Yeah, maybe I was just in the wrong headspace, but it just was like it's fine.
The nostalgia didn't carry your love for this one long enough.
No,
Dang. Well, but I'm glad that the Santa Claus one was there to carry you through.
exactly.
Good.
Tim Allen as Santa's still a good Santa. I still love
Love
that.
it. Well,
Nice.
great. What a lovely time. I'm so glad we got to watch these two. And where are we going for our next episode?
So for our final episode of the year, which will be out on the 31st on New Year's Eve, we're going to watch classic Christmas New Year's movie, It's a Wonderful Life. Yay. Yeah. I was going to say stuff about that movie, but everybody knows that that's a classic, so watch
Oh
It's a
yeah,
Wonderful
and
Life.
you have to watch it in black and white.
Mhm.
Ain't no color.
No. If you watch that movie in color, get out of here. Watch
Canceled.
it in black and white.
Straight to prison with Tim Allen.
With Tim Allen Santa. With Chris Kringle. Sweet. Well, this was very fun. Hopefully you
lovely
watched Santa
episode.
Claus. Mhm.
So glad that you guys joined us. I hope you watched the movies, and that you enjoyed them, and that you had some Christmas joy and Christmas spirit. And we wish you a Merry Christmas, because we
Merry
won't
Christmas.
see you until then. We hope you guys enjoy lovely time off of work and school, and spending all the lovely time with your family. It'll also be my birthday between now and then.
Yay. Happy birthday, Natalie.
So happy birthday to me. Please wish me some birthday wishes. The 28th. I'm getting old. And I can't wait for our next episode, Garrett. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Have a wonderful
Garrett's
Christmas.
friends and my family.
Merry Christmas to all, and to
And
all a
to
good
all a good night.